and welcome to another video. This weekend in the United States of America is the 4th of July, and I thought it would be fun to celebrate the holiday by following the average American diet for a day. But I'm putting my own twist on it. I'm going to attempt to take the most popular American dishes and healthify them a bit. We are going to be spending the majority of today in my kitchen. Let's do it. So we've all been told our whole lives that the most important meal of the day is breakfast, but when I was researching the most popular American breakfast, I found out that the average American only actually eats breakfast 3 times a day. But when they do, they prefer eggs, firstly, the second was cereal, and the third was coffee. So everybody knows that I'm a tea drinker by heart, but for the sake of the video, I'm gonna be attempting to make a coffee beverage today. I thought I would go true American and check which Starbucks drink is the top seller. I found out that Starbucks cold brews actually had a massive spike in sales in 2020, and topping the list of their most popular cold brews was the pumpkin cream cold brew. So I'm going to attempt to make my own healthified version of a Starbucks pumpkin cream cold brew. So here in this very American mason jar, I have some iced coffee. I know it's not cold brew, but I didn't have the patience to make cold brew. I'm gonna add like a teaspoon of maple syrup, and I'm measuring today. I will be measuring all day to get an accurate calorie count of everything that I made. I'm also gonna add just a little bit, probably about 1/8 of a teaspoon, or we'll call that 1/4 of vanilla extract. Gonna mix that together. So in order to try to make this pumpkin foam that tops the cold brew, I've got my lit cup. So we're just gonna wing it. I'm gonna take probably about, I don't know, a tablespoon of oat milk, probably about a 1/2 teaspoon of maple syrup to sweeten her up a little bit. I'm gonna add like a drop, like literally a drop of vanilla. I have my pumpkin pie spice here. I'm gonna take about 1/8 of a teaspoon. I'm gonna attempt to froth this. This oat milk is like slightly frothed. I don't know how well you can see that. I'm guessing oat milk is probably just not the best type of milk. I'm thinking like a higher water content might have helped this froth more, but either way, we're gonna go ahead and add this to my iced coffee. Oh my gosh! Look, there's a little foam on top. So this will be my coffee beverage. Smells good. I bet it'll taste good, but definitely not what Starbucks is pumping out for your average American. Let's go ahead and give this a taste. You know what? That's not bad. So moving on with the egg portion of today's breakfast, the surveys never specified how Americans like their eggs cooked, so I'm just gonna go for a regular over medium egg. So while my eggs are cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and get my cereal ready to go. So can you guess what the top selling cereal in America is? If you guessed Honey Nut Cheerios, you'd be correct. It's not very easy to healthify this, you know, it is what it is, but I thought I would just do 1 serving. So 1 serving of Honey Nut Cheerios is a cup. 1 cup is 140 calories, which isn't really bad. Honey Nut Cheerios, of a lot of the breakfast cereals available in America, is one of the better options. So I have a cup here. That's about it. You know what? I'm surprised. That's actually a fairly decent serving. That's like roughly as much as I would pour myself. So good job, Cheerios. You're not setting unrealistic expectations. have it, a classic American breakfast. Like a true American, I'm gonna sit here and eat this while I watch TV. So breakfast is done. I'll go ahead and put the total calories from this meal somewhere on the screen. Keep sipping on my coffee for a while, and we will see you for meal number 2. So when it comes to sports and exercise, everyone knows that Americans are extremely talented in opting out. But when we do exercise, I found out that Americans prefer most to walk, which is perfect because I go on a walk every day anyway. So today, I'm gonna just do my normal thing and go for a walk. Alright, so we are back in the kitchen and it is time to make lunch. So when researching the most popular lunch dishes in America, it was really hard to find a straight answer because America is such a melting pot of people and cultures and foods, and everyone's eating such different things. But one of the most common across the board meals for lunch is a sandwich because people bring it to work or they just go out and get one. And out of all of the sandwiches available to Americans, I was thinking it'll probably be like a turkey or an Italian that's the most common. I was wrong. And the answer surprised me. The most popular sandwich in America is a grilled cheese. And I guess I could have guessed that because it's literally bread and cheese and we're Americans and there's nothing better. But anyway, for lunch today, I'm going to be making a classic grilled cheese sandwich. It's kind of hard to think of a way to health this up at all without completely straying from what a grilled cheese sandwich is. But what I've decided to do is to use a whole grain bread, which you should always be doing. Most Americans would probably opt for a white bread. Alright, so I made my grilled cheese. It turned out beautifully. Let's see if we can get some kind of cheese pull here. Ooh, a little bit. I only used 2 pieces of cheese. I felt like just a grilled cheese wasn't gonna be a balanced enough meal. And so to add my own little twist, I decided I would add a snack to it, and I looked up what America's favorite fruit was, and it looks like America purchases the most apples. So I have an apple all sliced up. I'm going to sit here and enjoy my grilled cheese sandwich. It feels weird to eat this without tomato soup. Like, rarely in my life have I ever just had a grilled cheese sandwich. So after lunch, I pretty much always feel like I need a dessert. I'm 100% a dessert person. So I looked up what the most popular candy was, or chocolate, in America, and to no surprise, Reese's peanut butter cups take the cake. However, in a traditional package sold here, which has 2 Reese's peanut butter cups in it, there are 232 calories and 21 grams of sugar, which is quite a lot of calories for a small after lunch snack. So in order to try to healthify this, there's a lot of brands these days coming out with candies that are mimicking traditionals like Reese's that are actually a lot healthier. None of the products you see in any of my videos are sponsored, but I found this one. It's called Unreal. So this is 2 dark chocolate peanut butter cups, and I prefer dark chocolate anyway. I think traditional Reese's peanut butter cups, they're delicious, but they're really, really sweet. These, still 2 peanut butter cups, 160 calories, 10 grams of sugar. So almost half of the sugar, or half of the sugar of Reese's, and a portion of the calories for the same amount. Not to mention, the ingredients in something like this are a lot more pure, they're a lot less processed. So it's like you can totally still indulge on your favorite snacks without having to deal with all of the repercussions of the ingredients and the nutrition information. Aw, it's so cute. I've never had this before, so we're gonna try it out now. It was really good. The chocolate is a lot thicker than a Reese's, but if I was going for something like a Reese's, it's because I have a chocolate craving anyway. It's not too sweet. The dark chocolate helps a lot. The peanut butter is like a little bit salty, like it should be. This curbs the craving. So I am back in the kitchen and it is dinner time. So when I was looking for the most common dinner eaten in America, I found a survey that asked people what one food they would want to eat for the rest of their lives, and more Americans said pizza than anything else. It even beat out tacos and hamburger, which is what I would have expected to be the top dinner. So tonight I'll be making pizza, and to figure out what kind, I looked up what kind of pizza is the most popular, and it is, non-surprisingly, pepperoni. So we're making pepperoni pizza tonight. I don't want to mislead you and make you think that the pizza that I'm making tonight is healthy, because it's not. It's just homemade. It's still all-purpose flour and cheese and pepperoni, and none of those things are terribly good for you, but homemade means I know exactly what I'm putting in my body. Anyway, I'm gonna show you how I make a homemade pepperoni pizza, and then we're gonna chow down on that. Alright, so the first thing we have to do in making this pizza is make the dough. I'm using a yeasted dough. I think it tastes better and it's fun. So in this bowl I have 1.5 cups of warm water. The water has to be warm for this to work, but if it's too hot, it won't work. If it's cold, it won't work. So if it's kind of room temperature, comfortable to the touch, you're good to go. In this bowl I have 2 teaspoons of just plain granulated white sugar. I'm going to add now 3 teaspoons of active dry yeast. I'm going to stir this in really gently just to kind of get it going, and then we're going to wait for 5 to 10 minutes, probably closer to 5, for this to activate, and I will show you what that looks like. Alright, so my yeast is activated. It looks like this. It's foamy. You can see there's like an inch of foam on top. So I have in this bigger bowl 4 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to add in my activated yeast and water. And then I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 cup of olive oil. And then we're just going to mix that all together. And it will quickly start to form a dough. Once the dough kind of gets to this stage, I find it easier to use my hands than a spoon to just kind of start sticking all of it together. It'll be pretty crumbly at first, that's normal. Okay, so you can see here now that my dough is all holding together, all of the flour is absorbed. It's just kind of one perfect little dough baby. So I'm gonna go ahead and transfer this into this bowl, which I have covered in olive oil that just keeps it from sticking to the sides as it rises. So I'm gonna drop that in there. I'm going to cover it with a warm kitchen towel. You want it to be warm because a cold environment does not make nice for dough that's trying to rise. So I'm just waiting for my dough to double in size. This can take up to an hour. I live in a really warm apartment. It'll probably not take that long. So the dough has more than doubled in size. This recipe in my apartment always just rises super fast, but it springs back when I poke it, and that is how you know that it is properly proofed. So I'm going to take some flour and just gently flour my work surface. And then I'm gonna turn out my dough. Woo! It's all oily. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna get some flour on my rolling pin, and we're just gonna roll this out. I want this to be pretty thin because this particular dough rises like crazy in the oven. And I don't want a thin crust, but I also don't want a crazy thick crust. Now I'm gonna attempt to transfer this over to this greased tray. The easiest way to do this is to roll it onto the pin and then just kind of pick it up and roll it out. So then I'm kind of just going to use my hands to spread it out now that I know how much room I have to work with. And then, because every pizza needs an edge, I'm just going to go ahead and roll myself a little edge with my fingers. This is a very unorthodox way to do this. Any Italian person would shun me. It's gonna have some thinner parts and some thicker parts. That's how you know it's homemade. Alright, so my dough is all nice and pizza-fied. I'm gonna go ahead and add some sauce. I'm using just some organic jarred sauce. I'm gonna do the thing that I always see them do. See literally anybody making pizza do, where you take like a ladle. Oh, that works beautifully. No wonder they do it this way. Next, we're going for the mozzarella cheese, which happens to be the most purchased cheese in America. And I like cheese, so we're going for a lot of it. So next we have our topping station. First of all, it's pepperoni pizza, so we are adding pepperonis. Alright, and then I like to zhuzh up my pizza. What's the point of making pizza if you're not going to add some extra fun stuff? So we're going to go half and half. My favorite type of pizza is pepperoni with mushrooms and olives. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this is turkey pepperoni. I don't eat red meat. Turkey is also healthier than red meat. It's hard to find pepperoni that's not beef and pork. But this is turkey pepperoni. Alright, so let's throw this in the oven. The oven is preheated to 400 degrees. We'll probably cook it for about, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes. It's the moment of truth on our pizza to see how it fared. It smells incredible. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. It's a little rustic, but I'm pretty excited to eat this. While I'm cutting this pizza, I wanted to share some fun facts I found out about pizza and dating. So a poll found that 3 in 5 people said that they were more likely to swipe right on somebody who mentioned pizza in their dating profile. And 22% of those same people said they would not go on a second date with somebody who used a knife and fork to eat their pizza. So to all my single Americans out there, be a mess, eat your pizza like a normal person, and you'll be respected for it. Alright, so we're going in for the taste test now. Holy crap. That's so good. The homemade crust totally makes it. The total calories of this entire pizza, which is 8 pieces, is 1,629, and I'm comparing it to the most popular pizza restaurant in America, which is Domino's. Their pepperoni pizza is 2,080 calories for the same size and same amount of slices. So again, not a healthy pizza, but it is a little bit better. And again, I know exactly what's in it. So I'm going to sit here and eat this, and yeah, then we'll get to dessert. Alright, so pizza's eaten, and now we're going in for some dessert. So the top dessert, at least of 2015, was the only research I could find. The top dessert in America was ice cream, and the top flavor was chocolate. So I have made some homemade nice cream, chocolate nice cream. All I did was I took a frozen banana, half a cup of oat milk, and a half a tablespoon of cocoa powder, about a tablespoon of peanut butter and put that in a food processor. And then I took that and I poured it into a container and froze it. That's all it is. And we're gonna go ahead and give it a taste. Yeah?
It is very banana forward, but I like it.
Yeah, you can definitely taste the banana. I think more cocoa powder would have masked a little better, but I like banana. It's a little bit like icier. Like it's not as creamy and soft as ice cream, but I feel like it would curb the craving, you know? Like if I wanted ice cream and I had this, I'd feel good, you know?
Yeah,
You think?
I think so.
We're gonna sit here and eat this and relax for a little while, and then I'll tune back in to kind of go over the whole day, and we'll reveal my total calories for today and the total calories of the average American and see how it stacks up. Alrighty, so it is the end of the day. I have eaten all the food that I'm gonna eat. I wanted to quickly go over the day, some of my thoughts and findings. It was actually a really interesting experiment for me to do this. So my total calories for the day were 1,520. My total carbs, 188 grams. My fat, 67 grams, and protein, 51 grams. Which overall isn't terrible compared to the average American who gets over 3,600 calories a day, which is ridiculous. For the majority of people, that is quite a lot of calories, especially because so many of those calories for Americans are coming from processed foods that have high fat, high carb, high sugar. A lot of those calories are coming from sugar. And I was a bit over on calories, even with my semi-healthified versions of these foods. So it's no secret that the average American diet is not a model to follow. It's hard because there's people in America who eat the ideal, perfect diet with tons of vegetables and fruits, and then you have the people who are eating a ton of processed foods and prepared foods and drinking a lot of soda because that's what's available to us. And a lot of people are just truly uneducated on the topic. It's really not their fault. They've just never been taught what a balanced diet looks like. While I was doing my research, there were studies that said people found it easier to do their taxes than to figure out what they're supposed to be eating in a day. And with our whole convenience culture and, you know, a hard-working American kind of thing, I read something that said 20% of meals are eaten in the car for Americans. I also read something that said Americans spend less than 30 minutes a day cooking, which I get it, you know, we're busy, but cooking is one really good way to make sure you're not eating a ton of prepared foods. Anyway, yeah, today was fairly eye-opening. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me eat a semi-healthified average American diet for a day. I will wrap up the video here. I hope everybody has a very fun and safe 4th of July, to all my fellow Americans, and we'll see you next time.